The local station. This is Weather Authority Weekday.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday. Meteorologist Chris Holtzman here. It's our Weather Authority Weekday stream, and we're going to be talking about local weather and national weather, as we do have a lot of weather ongoing across the country right now. But let's start out with this morning with our temperatures, because it was another very cold morning. Many of us woke up to 20s. It's right around 30 degrees, so another fairly widespread freeze across our area with, once again, 20s and 30s across our region. That's cold out there, and it looks like the sunshine is around. We have some upper-level clouds moving in. A live look right now from St. Augustine, and you can see that we are looking at a dry forecast. Julington Creek as well, we're taking a live look there. Some filtered sunshine across the area, and we are tracking a temperature of 52. So temperatures are starting to warm up, and we'll continue that warming trend through the middle of the week. And the wind, look at that, southeasterly. That's a different wind direction for us because we've been northwesterly the past couple of days, and that's why it's been so cold. Looking into Clay County right now, Green Cove Springs, more clouds over us as well, but we are looking at a good amount of sunshine. And Jacksonville International, temperatures are rising there too, and the cloud cover is going up just a bit more, but we have a temperature right now of 54 degrees, partly to mostly cloudy. We have a northwesterly wind right around 7 miles per hour. We'll look at that, no wind chill across our area, as temperatures are certainly starting to warm up. Look at clouds and radar. We do have that high, and this is really the big story. That high was to our west a couple days ago, and that's what brought in that northwesterly wind. Now it's to the east, and as a result, we're getting a southerly wind, and there's that front off to our northwest. So because of that, we're kind of squeezed in between both systems. The only wind direction is southerly, and that's why temperatures will be on the way up as we head into today, and also during the day on Wednesday. And you will notice again that we do have some of those clouds filtering in, but we are expecting some sunshine as well. Temperatures across our area, we are looking at 50s across our region, so certainly it is a bit warmer, but you might have noticed your energy bill certainly going up with the heating and the cold that we have in place. And of course, that's because of the cold around. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at why you might be seeing higher bills and what you can do to help cut costs.
Much of the country is dealing with bitterly cold weather, and cranking up the heat in your home to stay warm means higher energy bills.
When it's extremely cold out, you're going to have to run your furnace or your gas fireplace.
According to recent data, Americans paid about 7% more for electricity this past November than last November. Slocum says one reason energy costs are up is higher delivery costs. Let's look at this Con Edison bill for a home in the New York area. The total bill is just under $500. The delivery fee is more than half the total. So what is a delivery fee? According to Con Ed, those fees help cover the cost to build, maintain, and operate infrastructure.
You've got to be able to deliver that electricity from the power plant across transmission lines, the distribution lines on your street.
All of that costs money to maintain. And across the country, artificial intelligence data centers are also fueling rising costs.
The problem is all of the computers that run these chips and this AI are incredibly electricity hungry.
Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says many AI data centers use natural gas generated electricity because it's cheap.
And that is hitting all of us because of the huge demand now for natural gas.
DeHaan says lowering your thermostat by even a few degrees can make a big difference on your bill. Slocum suggests upgrading your windows and doors to keep cold air out. He also says if you're concerned about rising costs, you can contact your local leaders. He says distribution fees are approved by state regulators. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, good information there, especially because I'm sure you've been definitely using the heat over the past couple of days with lows in the teens and even 20s. And you might have heard Punxsutawney Phil yesterday. Well, he predicted 6 more weeks of winter, and that's certainly not good news for some of us, especially if you don't like those winter temperatures. So we have Mandy Gaither here to give us more information on how to beat the 6 more weeks of winter.
They do more than just predict the weather. Groundhogs whistle when alarmed. They're the largest member of the squirrel family, have a constant need to gnaw, and if you hide out to survive harsh winters, you have more in common with these guys than you may realize.
As humans, we're animals too, so we can be vulnerable to hibernation, and some people are just much more vulnerable.
Clinical psychologist Craig Sawchuk with Mayo Clinic says when it's dark and cold outside, it's not uncommon for people to feel the winter blues. Symptoms may include wanting to sleep more, a drop in energy, feeling sad or down, having heavy limbs, and craving carbohydrates, which may lead to weight gain.
And then the spring and summer months, we get back to our usual baseline.
Whether feels right or not, you can beat the blues before spring is sprung. First, Sawchuk says lifestyle factors like exercising, staying connected, and maintaining a regular sleep schedule while avoiding oversleeping can all help. So can light therapy. He says using a light box can improve your mood. There's also cognitive behavioral therapy and medication management.
When those symptoms start to become more prominent, they start to cause problems in day-to-day living, then that's when we look at a difference between just having winter blues versus actually being a problem of clinical concern.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Certainly, though, we do have some improvement in the forecast. If you like those warmer temperatures, well, we're starting to warm up today. And in fact, temperatures are already in the 50s. And by the way, we didn't even get into the 50s on Sunday. Yesterday was cold as well. And finally, we have some warmer temperatures, at least compared to where we've been over the past couple of days. It feels actually a bit more comfortable out there with that sunshine. So temperatures range from around 50 in Lake City, and then we're looking at 54 in Jacksonville. So temperatures range a couple degrees, but the good news again, that wind, just showing you this because it is much less than what we saw over the past couple of days. And that means we're not dealing with the wind chills. So temperatures by the afternoon, we do climb into the 60s. Looking at decreasing clouds throughout the day. Eventually more sunshine by around 3-4 o'clock, and temperatures for the day, we do climb into the 60s, generally low to even mid 60s. This is fairly seasonable. Average highs around 66, so just a few degrees below normal, but that certainly feels better, at least than it did with that bitterly cold air mass overhead on Sunday, where we had highs generally in the 40s and lows in the teens and 20s. Now, in terms of our futurecast, you can see that wind. You see that southerly flow. Look at those lines right there. And that's indicating that warmer wind direction. Even into Wednesday, we're tracking a southerly wind. Temperatures will range from around 39 in Brunswick, and you can see right around 40 in Jacksonville. So most of us near 40, even some low to mid 30s. There might be some patchy frost, especially west of the metro, but we're not looking at a widespread freeze like we have seen. And look at those temperatures. How about that for tomorrow? We're looking at highs near 70 with more sunshine around, but with the warmer temperatures will come increasing clouds and also the chance for some showers, especially late Wednesday into Thursday. In fact, what we're looking at across our area, those warmer temperatures will bring an increasing rain chance. In fact, Futurecast shows most of the afternoon will be dry, but then watch later in the evening into the overnight. Well, there's that front, and that front will actually bring cooler temperatures by Thursday, even the chance for some rain, which we desperately need. I just want to show you our drought monitor, the most recent, and it's really not good for our area. In fact, look at where that red is. There's an extreme drought, including portions of Columbia, Union, and Bradford counties, and then up into Georgia. You can see the extreme northern portions of Ware and Pierce counties. We are looking at that, and then the rest of our area in a severe drought. So that continues to expand. Remember, when you're looking at the deficit for the year, it might not be much, but when you factor in last year's deficit, we certainly could use the rain, and unfortunately minimal rain coverage around. Nothing widespread in terms of a substantial accumulation, but a few showers will be possible as we head late tomorrow into the day on Thursday. So watch our clouds and radar forecast. Here comes that front. Most of the rain, though, holds off until Wednesday evening, so you'll see that. And then there comes the front. We see on the backside of it, we get a northerly flow. You can see those arrows. So cooler temperatures arrive by Thursday with highs back in the 50s. But then it looks like as we head into Friday, we'll start to see some slightly milder temperatures to move in. In terms of our temperature outlook, we're near normal, at least as we head through the next couple of weeks. Better chance of above normal temperatures to our west and cooler to the east, but we are near normal compared to our average high in the 60s. So looking at your forecast, we are looking at 63 for the day today, 71 by Wednesday, and then cooler Thursday. We'll likely see decreasing clouds throughout the day, starting out the day fairly cloudy, and then sunshine returns pretty pleasant by the weekend. I mean, we're certainly not going to complain about that. after the bitterly cold temperatures we had last weekend. Look at those highs, near 70 Saturday, right around 71 Sunday, and overnight lows. We do have the potential for some of us to drop below freezing by Friday morning, but overall the general trend, low temperatures will be above freezing. So let's look at your local weather. We'll be back with a national look at the weather in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. Well, let's take a look at the southeast and the entire country. We do have some cold to our north. Over the southeast, though, there is an improvement, especially if you like the warmer temperatures. We do have 50s and 60s across Florida. By the way, you might be wondering, with all of this cold, especially in central and south Florida, how are the crops doing? Well, folks in Miami certainly reporting stresses of the freezing temperatures. Let's head over with the latest information.
It may look like a beautiful morning, sunshine and blue skies, but this cold snap has left its mark. Overnight temperatures dropped to around 30 degrees in some areas, cold enough to cause damage before the sun ever came up.
There's definitely farms in the area, and then when you include South Florida as a whole, the damage done is definitely in the millions.
For farmer David Torbert, the cold hit harder than anything he's experienced before.
It's been tiresome. It's been a lot of work. Our guys have done a great job. They've worked very hard, but it's been stressful.
And just a street over from his green bean fields, frost impacted his squash, one of several crops now at risk.
If you have a heavy amount of frost, that plant may eventually die or not produce anymore.
And this cold snap isn't just affecting farms. The past couple days have marked South Florida's coldest temperatures in more than a decade. Miami dipping to 35 degrees, the lowest since December of 2010.
Yeah, so certainly crops to the south, not used to the bitterly cold temperatures, but temperatures down there in the Miami area now near 60, and 60s are common as well across Louisiana. By the way, in Louisiana, well, strawberries, big crop, right? And strawberries were impacted by the cold. In fact, farmers are right now assessing their crops in the freezing weather, and they're working around the clock to keep their delicate produce from more effects of the winter chill. And here's the latest from one farmer about the plant warming process and how it works.
North Shore strawberry farmers peel back acres of blankets to check on tender plants that needed to be tucked in.
You see this bloom? This is a bloom, and you see all the green berries? This bloom is where it starts.
Here at John Dale Farms near Ponchatoula, they cover 30 acres of strawberry plants to protect from extended freezing temperatures. And this winter, they've been busy.
Today, I'll uncover what I can pick and then cover back before evening because there's another freeze in the morning.
As workers peel back the blankets, ripe fruit is revealed and picked for local restaurants and farmers markets who prefer Louisiana berries.
Oh, definitely. I think it's a better berry. It's sweeter. We're picking them fresh. As soon as I pick this load of berries, it'll be in the city the same day.
And though the strawberry plants have been covered for more than a week in some cases, Heather Robertson believes cold weather will make for better strawberries.
Because the cold weather, it just intensifies the sugar in the berry.
All these precautions appear to have paid off. Heather Robertson says the plants look healthy and they have some nice ripe fruit on them, but there has been a small price that has to be paid for all the recent freezes.
Covering, it does kind of slow them down a little bit. It protects the plant, it protects the berry, protects the bloom, but it does slow them down.
For these Louisiana farmers, the berry business is good. John Dale Farms produces thousands of flats of strawberries each year, starting with just 5 acres 30 years ago.
Now we're at 240,000, and as you can see, that takes up 30 acres.
Yeah, those crops really sensitive to the cold in some of those areas that typically don't see temperatures below freezing. So interesting to see how they compensate for those colder temperatures. And well, speaking of the cold, of course, we talked about snow, and we still have snow on the ground across portions of the southeast, although I do think that that will start to go away as we see some warmer temperatures around. In fact, in North Carolina and the Wilmington area, well, folks received, believe it or not, the most snow in nearly 40 years. So more than a couple of inches of snow fell in Wilmington. It isn't unheard of, but it certainly is rare, and many residents there took advantage of the nearly 6 inches of snow they got over the weekend. Let's take a look in Wilmington.
A day of cleaning up around Wilmington, and a day of fun for kids around the city.
It's really cool to see them being able to play and enjoy the snow.
6 inches of snow leaving Wilmington looking like this. Slick roads forcing drivers to take it slow.
Something that our office wants to stress is that Even as the sun is out and roads are being treated, conditions remain dangerous.
Jason Fuller with New Hanover County Emergency Management says bridges and main roads are still their top priorities. MLK Parkway near 3rd Street closed with drivers fighting through ice.
Please stay off the roads unless travel is absolutely necessary.
But nobody said anything about hills. This hill near Market Street and College Road filled with people sledding.
Very cold, but it's worth it. It's beautiful.
So whether you were sledding, walking through downtown, or even made it to Wrightsville Beach, it was a memorable snow day along the coast.
This has been a very good one for sure.
You certainly got to take advantage, right? Any snow on the ground in those areas, very rare to see snow. Again, it can happen, but certainly a remarkable storm, that's for sure. But we're starting to see our pattern change now in the southeast, as I mentioned. Moisture from the Gulf, that's ahead of that front, and that's bringing some showers, and that eventually will move into our region as we head into late tomorrow and also on Thursday. Temperatures, though, still the eastern part of the country below normal. Western part where you have a ridge, that's where temperatures are a bit warmer. And the warmest temperatures generally across the northwest. Very big area of high pressure. So folks out west are really seeing those warmer temperatures, whereas in the eastern part of the country, we're not really seeing it. But there's our change tomorrow. You can see as that moisture moves in with that front. Moisture ahead of the upper level system will bring rain and some storms well to the south. But again, the chance for some rain will be around. We certainly will take anything that we can get. Set up tomorrow, though, there could be some wintry precipitation across North Carolina again and Virginia on the backside of that low as some colder air moves in as that upper level system. You can see the track generally to our north. Now, we are keeping below normal temperatures. I will say that we should be just about a couple degrees away from our average high, at least above it as we head into Wednesday, I should say. So below normal temperatures generally today, but looks like above normal temperatures around the way. And as we look ahead, you can see a system, as I mentioned, Tuesday bringing rain to the southeast. Even on Wednesday, as that upper level ridge moves into the western United States. Look at how dry it is, by the way, across the west. And then as we advance into Thursday, that front will clear our area, and we're looking at generally drier conditions with more sunshine expected as we head into Thursday afternoon. By the way, for NASA, remember yesterday we ended the stream with the Artemis II wet test that was supposed to be taken, and that test did go on. However, NASA is pushing back its launch schedule. So remember, I mentioned with the mission there could be different launch dates. They do this on purpose to account for problems, and it looks like for the Artemis II mission, they're targeting March. That's the earliest it could take place. So it was originally expected to launch early February rather than this Sunday. NASA says issues during a critical test Tuesday are prompting a delay. There was a issue with the hydraulic system. So the Artemis II seeks to send astronauts beyond the far side of the moon. And again, it would be the farthest humans have traveled from Earth. And we'll have all information about this, especially when we know the launch is ongoing. There's a really good video about the mission. It details exactly from NASA the entire mission that it's taking and the stages of the mission. So we'll, of course, the week we know that the launch is ongoing or it is scheduled, we'll, of course, provide more information. There's a lot to talk about with this mission. It's historic and certainly something we'll keep an eye on as it is launching from Kennedy Space Center. So pretty interesting. They were able to load the tanks, though, with the fuel. But again, they want to make sure everything is right before you launch this rocket. And again, it's been over 50 years or around 50 years since we've launched somebody by NASA, I should say. Some private companies have done it, but NASA specifically, we are looking at certainly a historic mission around. So that's a look at the weather across the country and our local weather. A lot to talk about, but warmer days are ahead. If you like the warmer temperatures, you certainly will want to get outside by Wednesday, but then eventually Thursday, we do cool back down. As always, you can get the latest forecast on air, online, and on our weather app. And we'll be back at noon and also this afternoon and evening with the latest forecast. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday.
See why every day more people are choosing News4JAX, Northeast Florida and South Georgia's #1 source for local news.